So with the note investing challenge, the first part, like I said, we'll be covering a variety of subjects over the 20 days. But the first 5 days, I think, are going to be the most impactful. As I thought back for the last couple of weeks, as we're coming up with what are we talking about? What are we going to be sharing? As I'm polling my students, polling and asking questions, it always comes down finding deals and then funding. Well, the first thing that I think about is the easiest thing for everybody to do is literally using LinkedIn to find deals. Now, LinkedIn, you don't need the upgraded version. You can do and use the free version of LinkedIn to help you find deals immediately. All right. You can find it in a couple of days if you're using it. Sometimes people have found it in a day one. It's all up to where your LinkedIn profile is at for you. Now, I encourage you all to ask questions. I'm going to try to follow along with you guys. If you're here in Zoom, ask questions here. If you're following us on Facebook, feel free in the group as well to ask questions. All right. And we're going to try to keep it there as we're going live there. All right. So, a question here. Yes, Doug, if you're part of the WCN monthly membership, the 20-day is included as a bonus there for you. That's correct. All right. But anyway, using LinkedIn, the free version, LinkedIn is I say, is one of the most critical staples of not only your real estate business, but your note investing business. Now, let's face it, most real estate investors out there, they can jump on the MLS, they can find a deal. They're used to dealing with landlords or REO, fix and flips, things like that, foreclosures. The note investing side, there is no MLS. There's not a lot, there's no reality shows, we know that for sure. There's no foreclosure listing service for notes. You've got to go direct to the source. But the beautiful thing about being direct to the source is you're often finding deals a lot sweeter, a lot better, and a lot more bulk because you're dealing directly with the banks versus dealing with the end buyers, okay? And the way that we use LinkedIn to find deals is pretty simple, all right? This hasn't changed that much because the banking side of note business hasn't changed much either. A lot of your asset managers, they're not going to answer an email blast. Some will review it, but the whole idea is touching base and making connections. So if you've got a LinkedIn profile, kudos to you. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, guess what? Start one today. If you've got one, get on there and spend some time on it, because what we'll be discussing here with you guys can have a lot of impact in the long run. Now, here. All right, LinkedIn Marketing 101. This is a little basic stuff for you, but I just had to recap because there's always one or two people like, do I need this? Do I need that? Okay. Have a complete profile. Now, what do I mean by complete profile? It means it can be completely filled out. It's basically, talking about what you've done the last 3 major jobs you've had. You don't need to go back to the time you were in college 20 years ago working at Cafe Java or something like that. But your 3-4 most important things that you've done in the last few years. I mean, if you've had one job for 30 years, guess what? You've got to put one thing on there, okay? But you don't need to go create 2 profiles. This is a big faux pas. It's a big nasty thing. Don't create 2 profiles. It won't help you. It'll make it look bad. Create you just one profile and share it. If you're a social media manager in your full-time job, or I don't care, an engineer, or you're doing something else, it's okay to have 2 profiles. Sorry, 2 segments on your profile that talk about that. Now, your banner photo, you may want to make it a little neutral. If you've still got a JOB and your boss will get pissed off, but create one profile, completely fill it out. Put some photos on there, put some projects, talk about your interests, your recommendations, okay? It's a resume style profile for you, okay? And what you have to realize, and the reason we're starting off with LinkedIn compared to other things, is this the place that asset managers are going to go to try to track you down, to find more about you and your firm, okay? You and your company, if you're the real deal Holyfield, okay? So make sure you have something about real estate on there. You're interested in real estate investor, you're a full-time social media manager, full-time psychiatrist, whatever it might be, okay? Project manager, whatever. Make sure you put on there, hey, I've been an active real estate investor since 2002, 2010, 2020, 2020, whatever, okay? All right. What you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to put something. We all start somewhere, okay? We all start somewhere, so don't be afraid. Oh my God, I don't show any experience on real estate. I don't have years of experience. Guess what? Nobody does when they start off, okay? Nobody does when they start off, all right? So Here's the thing, fill it out completely, go through it. If you need a good example, go look at somebody else's profile. Go look at mine, one Scott Carson, okay? Go look at it. Add things to it, tweak it, put your profile photo, put a banner photo behind you, complete your things. If you don't have a profile photo on LinkedIn, that's a no-no. That's not a good thing. Go on there. Now, if you don't have a lot of connections, that's okay. You start reaching out to people, okay? But one of the most important things that you need to do with like any type of social media profile is to post regularly. Now, this is not the same thing where you would post cat images or cat videos or crazy stupid photos. You want to keep it professional. Now, what works really well is putting some sort of daily article out. Now, you don't have to write things. You could go to DS News, Default Servicing News, that's what that is, dsnews.com, housingwire.com, Yahoo Housing, or USA Today. Anything that comes up, Mortgage Minute and the M Report. There's a whole variety of different real estate-based periodicals or online newsletters that have articles that you can share. The idea here is just not to share the article. That's the one mistake I see a lot of people make. They share an article. What's it about? What's your opinion on this? Why is this so important? Why should I take 5 seconds or 10 seconds from scrolling on LinkedIn one board to look at your article? Why is it important? Share your opinion. Share something. It's free to share an article a lot of times from these other periodicals. It doesn't cost you anything except a little bit of time. So sharing that. Also, if you see somebody else has got a great article, comment. All right? Comment on their post. You see somebody's getting a lot of comments, hey, go on there and post. Those people that are commenting, or those people that get a lot of comments in their profile, those are great people to connect with. Great people who are influencers on LinkedIn. It's not all about having the context. It's about people communicating, people networking on LinkedIn is one of the most important things. And it's a great way to really get people to start looking at your stuff is to look at other people's stuff that are getting looks, okay? Follow your influencers. If you got an influencer on LinkedIn, follow them. If you follow me, great, follow me. If you're following Tony Robbins, follow him. If you're following other real estate investors, educators, events, go and follow them on there. Now, the one thing, this goes back to you if you've got a boss who maybe doesn't like you doing stuff on the real estate, you may want to go not follow your boss. You may want to block your boss from looking at your LinkedIn profile. That's up to you. If you have questions, feel free to drop me an email and we'll talk about it. All right. But follow your influencers and see what they're posting. See what's getting comments. Is it just an image, or is it image plus a discussion? Is it something controversial? Is it something hot going on in real estate? Okay. Obviously, what's big in real estate right now? Defaults, the foreclosure moratorium, the eviction moratorium, price values, short videos on markets, case studies. Those are all good things. Another thing that you can do, which is pretty easy, is you can endorse people for their expertise. That's a great thing that I would do. Or you can also send recommendations to people. Hey, you're a great person, love working with him. Writing recommendations can often open a door to getting in good with people that you may not be 1 degree away from. You may not know them on a first name basis. But one of the things that I've used a lot, I'm using it more and more with different things, is our recommendation stuff, leaving recommendations for a lot of people. And that's a very powerful thing. Somebody will take the time to write a recommendation for you. Oh, I'll take the time. I'll give them plenty of time to talk with them on the phone. Okay. So use the endorsement thing, endorse other people, endorse them for specific skills. A lot of times they'll turn around and reimburse you for that same type of endorsement, or they'll also send you another recommendation. Okay. That's a great way to boost your profile. Get a lot of recommendations, get a lot of endorsements. Okay. Now, what's the magical thing? And this is kind of finding part one, day one, part B, I guess you could say. But short videos do really well. And we're talking short videos, 10 minutes or less on LinkedIn. That's all that LinkedIn will allow you to actually upload there. Now, you can share a longer video, but it just won't be as boosted, and LinkedIn won't give as much weight to it as if you upload that short 10-minute video or less. Now, tonight on part 2 here, case studies, we'll talk a little about that. But uploading things to your LinkedIn profile, things that you record, short videos on that you do with your camera or your phone, talking about a topic, or you're standing in front of a property, or you're looking at a case study, or you're looking at something and you just want to talk about it. Hey guys, check out this article. I'm putting the link below about this, this, and this. That'll get people clicking and get people interacting. Why do we want to add stuff to it? Because it takes time. And if you wait around until you need a profile to really add credibility, or you need to add this stuff, it's too late. Okay. The idea is to start doing this stuff now, because as you start marketing, as you start reaching out to asset managers, you want them to take notice and see, okay, this gal is a real person. This guy is real. Catherine is real. Doug is real. Okay. They passed the smell test and the looky-loo test. Okay. Now, another thing that a lot of people forget about, and this is kind of a 50-50 thing, and by 50-50, you never know what's going to happen, is you can join some big groups on LinkedIn. All right. They've got large and small groups when it comes to real estate investing or special assets or creative real estate. I would go join those groups, because if you join those groups and there's somebody that you're not connected to, it's easier to connect with them if you're 2 or 3 degrees of separations apart. There's some big groups on there that I post on a regular basis, 500,000 people. If I have 1% of 1% looking at my thing, it's a good day, the way I look at it. All right. But getting the word out and what you're doing, same thing, sharing the articles, sharing your case studies, sharing topics, commenting other people's things, you'll start seeing on LinkedIn, especially some of these asset manager groups, people will start posting, hey, they've got deal flow. Or some of you guys will make posts, might come across, hey, I've got a deal, or I'm looking to move this deal. Great place that we found. And like I said, LinkedIn doesn't cost you anything except some time to spend on there. All right. And set up your profile. You can go with the free version and it'll work just as fine. But do this, join the groups, post regularly, but most importantly, have a complete profile, ladies and gentlemen. Complete, I mean, it means it's done. You've gone through and filled everything out. Don't leave stuff sitting around. Don't leave stuff half-ass. Don't have just a bare minimum. By doing the bare minimum, you'll get the bare minimum results, which is basically nothing. Okay. Now, what's also nice when it comes to finding note deals is LinkedIn searchable search factor, their search engine. Yes, it's not going on to Yahoo or Google or anything like that, but the availability of LinkedIn to help you connect with people that are in your right job category in your city, state is second to none. I mean, it is a very powerful tool if you'll use it for the power of good. All right. And you can use the search feature for finding a variety of activities, a variety of job titles for people that handle the type of deal flow that you're looking for. All right. Now, in the note business, in the distressed asset space, if you're looking for just real estate, whether it's notes or REOs, whatever it might be, you can use this. But with the distressed note space or note investors, this is the golden, this is the golden goose to help you find stuff. Okay. You can do a search for special asset managers, just not asset managers, but special asset managers. If you're brand new to note investing, the people inside of the banks that handle the note sales aren't your local VP down at the local corner. They're often in different departments, different states, maybe the corporate office, but it all depends on the size of the bank, size of the lending institution. Your special asset managers are often going to be in your biggest banks out there. That's the title that they go by, the special asset managers. And they'll have a special asset managers for residential notes and commercial notes, usually separate. Okay. Sometimes separate parts. Some of them will handle different parts of the country. Some may handle just one state. Right. Another name that a lot of the bigger banks go by is your secondary marketing managers. They're in secondary marketing. What's that mean? It means they're trying to sell that asset off, and an asset buy, I don't mean in real estate, sell that note off on the secondary market. They've either got some scratch and dent loans, non-performing stuff that they're trying to sell. Those two, you'll often find the most amount of search engine results by searching for those two on LinkedIn. Special asset managers, secondary marketing managers, individually type them in, boom, you'll see them. And we'll talk about what to do with those in a second. Chief credit risk officers is another big name. You'll see this, your regional banks a lot of times. These are the people that are evaluating the credit risk of borrowers. We've had a lot of conversations with people that have these titles over the last 6 months, quite a bit, besides the first two. But chief credit risk officers is another search engine. Now, the magical one, which for some reason, I don't know why I didn't mention this before. I've mentioned this in one class before. But the magical one, it just seems like common sense, ladies and gentlemen. The fourth name to search for is the whole loan trading desk, whole loan traders. I don't know why I never talked about it, but I've used that as a search term. Whole loan trading desk or whole loan trader in LinkedIn. And you know what they do? They're trading loans. It says it in their job title. That's their job title. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody home? That's a great way to look. So looking for people with those 4 job titles will give you plenty of places. Now, besides just looking for them, okay, Scott, I've looked in and I've got 5,000 or 100,000 people. What do I do now? Okay. Well, send them a connection. Send them a short message. LinkedIn allows for you to have like 300 characters in a short message. Tell them what you're looking for. Hey, are you the right person that handles your distressed note sales at your bank? Or hey, are you guys selling any notes? We'll talk about a little bit what to say here in just a second. But use a short message and what you're looking for. And sometimes I'll include a short link. What I've done in the past is I've recorded a short video, a little short, I say pitched video of me speaking for a minute about exactly the type of assets I'm looking for. Hi, my name is Scott Carson, the CEO of WeCloseNotes.com, Inverse Asset Fund. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm looking for your first lien non-performing notes with balances over 100,000, sub $500,000 on the residential side. We'll look at anything on the commercial side, sub 2 million in value in UPB. We're buying for our own portfolio, and we're buying in roughly about 30 major states, excluding New York and New Jersey. But for the most part, we're buying in just about every state out there. Love to talk with you. We're buying in primary and secondary markets, and with the size of our firm, we're boutique enough and big enough to handle some big trades, but boutique enough to be able to be agile in what we're buying. So I'd love to talk with you. Let's have a conversation. Let's make an appointment. So you can say a lot longer, a lot more stuff in that short little video than you can in a 300 character thing, right? What you want to do is write something up and make it pretty simple that you can copy paste. Now you could do this at any time of night. For those of you that are working still job and don't have 9 to 5 to make phone calls, you can use this search. You can use this to help you connect with asset managers while you're sitting in front of the TV, while the power is out. And as long as you still got cell phone access, guess what? You connect people on there. One another thing is too, is as you're reaching out, connecting with people, I would say you probably get around a 20% to 50% response rate. Depends on who you're talking to and what kind of searches you're doing. Now, if you see that people don't have a social LinkedIn profile face, are probably not using LinkedIn. So I wouldn't waste your time. If you see that they've got less than 500 connections, they're probably not using LinkedIn. So that's a great kind of a filter for you to decide who you send connections out. Now, the nice thing, LinkedIn will let you send out about 2,500 connection invites, not all at once, but when you get up to 2,500 before they start stopping you. Now, if you've got a brand new LinkedIn profile and don't have 1,000 connections, LinkedIn will limit the amount of people that you can send invites out to. Usually, for those who've got 2,500 connections more, they'll let you get away with about 100 connects a day. Anything when you're less than that, we start seeing where maybe 100 a week. You just have to spend time connecting. That's why you want to start laying that pavement, start building that path to success now by reaching out and sending invites and connections with your friends, relatives, coworkers, other people you come in contact with, other investors here as well. But as you send invites out, you can always go and see who's looked at your profile. As you start building a more robust LinkedIn profile with articles and comments and shares and commenting on other influence out there, you can literally see who's looked at your profile most of the time. And I like using my profile views to see who's been looking at me, who's been a good person who's checking me out but didn't connect with me, or who did connect with me and who took the time to check out my profile. That acts as a second kind of touch. Of course, if I send an invite out and they look at my profile, but they didn't accept my connection, I will reach back out to them. Or now that I know that they're spending some time on LinkedIn, I may go a different route. I may then follow up with a phone call. But I'll look at my profile views, and I'll also look at other people have been looking at, other people in my niche or genre, other investors, other people, educators, things like that. Who else are they looking at? And I'll connect with those people. Hey, I think we should be connected because I think we're in the same niche or we're kind of in the same field. And that looks really well, okay? Now, you can also search. I love doing this. This has been a big push in the last, I'd say probably last 6 months, is connecting with other people, not just asset managers or secondary marketing managers or whole loan trading desk, or other podcasters, something I use. But I also search for other real estate investors. Now, I will go on there and type in real estate investors. Austin, Texas is one thing that I did today. I did it a couple of days ago. Pulled 1,000 people in and started connecting with 100 Austin real estate investors on a daily basis. I'll talk about how we kind of automate this in one of the next slides. I'll also do this in states. If I'm big in Ohio or big in Michigan, note investors in Michigan, note investors Detroit. And you can start kind of crafting your LinkedIn connections, your LinkedIn audience for places that you're invested in or places that you're looking to invest in. All right. Pretty easy thing to do. And it makes your profile that much more valuable when you post something that the ideal person that you're looking for starts to see your stuff. If I'm investing heavily in Indianapolis, you better believe I'm going to go looking for note investors and real estate investors in Indiana and Indianapolis. Okay. And it's a great way to start reaching people that can either fund my deal or maybe potential buyers for my deals. And most importantly, hopefully they have deals that they're looking to sell. So this is all about finding, right? And that's one of the best ways is using LinkedIn to find deals is to connect with other note investors out there. Today, I got a tape of 60 notes from investor that came from LinkedIn. Yesterday, somebody responded with a tape of 2 assets that I'm looking at. All right. So this works. You've just got to implement it and stick to it. And with any type of marketing, that's what we're all doing here. It's all about consistency, everybody. Staying consistent in what you're doing on a regular basis. Doesn't have to be 9 to 5 if you got a full-time job or career. It can be 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. It could be while you're sitting at your job, waiting for the bell, ready to get off of work, while you're waiting for the bus to show up or your train, wherever you're at. This is something that you can do on a regular basis, okay? Now, I like using a tool called Octopus. I know I've got some Octopus evangelists on here, people that I've introduced Octopus to that absolutely love it. This is a Chrome plugin that will link into your LinkedIn profile and help pull profiles over. So if I go do a search on LinkedIn for real estate investor, Austin, Texas, okay, I can click on, once I've uploaded Octopus and you download it, I can click on the Octopus icon, it'll pop up and I say, okay, let's pull 1,000 profiles, which is the maximum. And Octopus will identify in your search screen there, you may have 10,000 people, but the first 1,000 that you're not connected to, it can pull those profiles over into Octopus, and then you can automate it with customized first name, last name fields. You can use the same type of wording and send it out, but it looks customized. And then literally this can do like 100 a day, 75 to 100 a day. First thing I do in the morning, boom, I don't even check my email. I go straight into Octopus and I automate that to send out 100 invites a day. Usually we'll get, it's about 500 a week. And out of that, we'll see about a 20% connection ratio. Now, this has helped me grow my LinkedIn connections from 6,000 to just under 25,000. But most importantly, it's allowed for me to be able to communicate with a lot more investors, a lot more note buyers, also getting more deals sent to me when I post something, okay? But Octopus is pretty cheap, octopuscrm.io. If you actually use this link, bit.ly/SC Octopus, use this link. Let's see if it'll let me copy it. I'll put it in the chat room. Let me put this in the chat room real fast for everybody. If you use that link, it'll get you a free month free. It'll get you a free month free. It'll get you a month free if you're not already using it. If you're brand new, if you're already using it, kudos. Sorry, didn't get it. But if you're on here tonight, watching this, you use this code bit.ly. We click on the link SC Octopus. Yep, that's right. It should take you into an opt-in page and you get a month for free. After a month, it's pretty inexpensive. You can either bill it in a year at $14.99, and that's what it comes out to if you bill the year, or you can do $21.99 a month is what I do on a month-to-month basis. When I'm not using it, I stop it, but I go month-to-month on it. But it works really well. And roughly, like I said, I get about 100. I send about 100 connections, 100 invites a day. Think about that. If you could talk with 100 investors, 100 asset managers, how long would that take you? Well, if you dollar for dollars, it would take you most of the day to talk to 100 asset managers. Leave a message. This way, it automates that aspect of it. And it's a great way to get the conversation started. When they connect, then you lead them to a phone call. Then, hey, let's jump on a phone call. Hey, you accept my connection? I'd love to talk with you. And then you schedule that one-on-one phone call. That's also nice, too. They get a lot of people that connect, and you're too busy to do that. You can set up a follow-up email campaign to them using Octopus as well for those that haven't responded. Really nice. And it has this mail merge inside of Octopus. Now, it's not going to work with like MailChimp or Keep or ClickFunnels or any other Mandrill or any of those CRM tools. It's basically its own CRM for just LinkedIn. Okay, well worth it. Love this. This is a tool that I think everybody should implement. I see some people on here tonight, Catherine, Laura, Derek, Mautry, some others out there that have been using this and absolutely doing some great stuff with it. Okay. You can have multiple lists. Like I have about 20 different lists that we're reaching out to, that we're pulling people over my profile. So like one day I can send it out to Houston investors. One day I can send out to Indianapolis, Indiana investors. One day I can send it out to real estate podcasts, because that's the thing for me to help me get on and speak on other podcasts and stuff like that. But this is a tool, trust me, price $21.99 per month if you do it on a month-to-month basis. After the first month you get for free. It is well worth it, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't care. You don't have to be a note investor. You can use this any type of real estate investing. If you're going after apartments, if you're going after multifamily, if you're going after hotels, if you're syndicating, you could go and connect with so many other things on here. Such an amazing tool. And I can see some people on here, that love this. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. We got some, let's see, Terry, Rick, looks like you guys might have your hand raised. If you have some questions, feel free to type it in the chat roll or the Q&A roll. We'll try to get to the questions as we can. All right. You're a loan officer. Maybe you're looking with other home buyers. Maybe you're looking for realtors in an area. This is a great tool to share the love of what you're working on. Okay. All right. And then what do you say? Well, if you're sending out to asset managers, chief credit risk officers, secondary marketing managers, whole loan traders, these are the things that you want to say in your basically your 300 characters. What do you have in your books? What are you looking to move this quarter? All right. I'm looking for NPNs or non-performing notes. What do you have? Okay, that you're looking to move. I'm buying from my own portfolio all across the country. All right. These are important things to say. Now, if you've been to one of our one-day note weekend classes or one of our 3-day virtual note buying workshops, you know there's a little bit more to it in the scripts of stuff out there. And I would highly encourage you to go watch me dollar for dollars and call the banks for 4 hours like we have on our YouTube channel. The idea here is it basically goes directly to the point. Hey, what do you have on your books? What are you looking to get rid of? Here's what I'm looking for. Now, the biggest thing is you want to be generic in what you're looking for. The more specific you get down to like a city, state, or specific asset class, an individual asset class type, it becomes much more difficult. What you want to do is make it as simple as possible for that asset manager who's looking at your LinkedIn profile to send you an email to respond back with a list or non-disclosure agreement, an NDA as they call it. Right. And what you want to do is keep it simple. Hey, this is what I'm looking for: residential and small balance commercial notes, non-performing. That's what I'm looking for. What do you have this quarter that you're looking to get rid of? If you got getting specific on one state or one city, guess what? You've really shot yourself in the foot. The more specific you are, that's not good on the initial part. Now, yes, you may only want to buy in Arizona. You may only want to buy in Utah, wherever you're at. But get the list, because once you get the list, that's your in. Now you can wholesale those deals off. You can move them to other investors. You could co-bid if there's a few assets in your area, but there's other assets otherwise places. We see this as being that's the biggest thing that drives me bonkers is when I see people getting tapes and they're only buying 1 or 2. They're not using that list to market to other investors. They're still making some money in wholesale fees or points or something like that for the people to bid can be a good thing. Don't lump notes and REOs together. This is a big thing. Don't lump it in. I'm looking for notes and REOs. No, you're not. If you're looking for REOs, you'll be dealing with REO asset managers, okay? Or the REO agents. If you're looking for notes, you're dealing with the bankers. If you start saying I'm looking for both, it's too generic. That's too generic. Specific, I'm looking for notes. The 4 job titles we gave you fall in line with just notes. You know, the asset managers, the banks that handle the note sales, not the REO side, okay? The idea, like I said, is to get a response and follow up via phone or email to them. That's one of the most important things out there, okay? Most important to do that. Just get a response, get in their, get in their world, get in there, get on their radar and start following up. And some of the great things you guys can do is it's easier than you think it is. If you've never reached out to asset managers, this is the easiest thing to start doing and using LinkedIn to build that. Look, you're going to be in real estate or mortgage investing or real estate, any type of real estate. I guarantee you guys are being in it longer than one day or one night. So you've been in it for years. start using LinkedIn. It is one of the most effective tools. I wish LinkedIn had been around when I got started back, 11, 12, 13 years ago. Very brand new. It wasn't like it is today. And literally you are, the whole term, 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon. You're all 1 degree from bringing home the bacon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. 1 degree from so many connections and so many amazing deals. You've just got to start marketing, sharing a little bit and doing a little bit extra than what everybody else is doing. You know what everybody else is doing? Nothing. Stand up, do a little bit extra, and just stay consistent with it. And in 30, 60, 90 days, you'll be amazed at the results. Okay? Questions about what we've covered so far. I know some of you are like, wow, that's a lot for one lesson on just LinkedIn there. I know. Ask your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to give you a bit of an idea of some of the other things while you guys are typing your questions here, some of the other things that we'll be talking about in the first 5 days here. So obviously using LinkedIn was the first thing we talk about. Tomorrow we'll be talking about using Lane Guide. It's one of the few things that you can pay for to build special asset manager list of contacts. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. Wednesday, we'll talk about using state licensing websites to find mortgage bankers that have deals in your state. Thursday, we'll talk about dialing for dollars and calling asset managers. Yeah, I know yawn for some of you, but it's a thing you'll need to do at some point. Get on the phone with these asset managers. And then Friday, for day 5, we'll be talking about Scotsman Guide to find some commercial notes. I know commercial notes is a big thing for some of you guys. It's also the asset class that we're seeing hit the market the most right now. Okay. Dave asks, are you able to wholesale a note to other investors off of a tape you received from another asset manager, et cetera? Yeah, dude, I've done it for years, Dave. You just want to secure the tape in some sort of fashion. You want to work smart. We'll talk about that a little bit in one of our exit strategies later on. But yeah, you can wholesale deals. I've secured whole tapes. I never bought anything on myself, but I wholesaled them all out. Just about how you go and securing. It's also the most important thing is how big your list is and how many people you're marketing to. So yes, done it many a time. Do it all the time. And it's a very, very great thing to be doing there, Dave. Great question, Dave. Another question here. Mike Briaz asks, do you suggest using LinkedIn Premium versus not using it? I think anything that you use, like with LinkedIn Premium, if you pay for the upgrade, use it. If you're not going to do the simple things, then don't pay the extra money, okay? I would go in and use, if you're going to sign up for it, you start using it. If you're not using it, it can be very, very, you don't want to spend that extra money and not being used, okay? William Schmitty-Smith says, do you let the sellers know you're brokering? No, you should never let the banks know you're wholesaling. You're always buying for your own portfolio. You're buying for your own portfolio. It may just be on your portfolio for only 5 minutes, okay? Sylvia asks, with Octopus, can you schedule emails to go out on several days or different days? No, Sylvia, I don't believe you can go on there. I've not scheduled to go out and automate it like a MailChimp or anything like that. Basically, I go in and I send them an email, go out that day when I'm in there. All right. Good question, though. Good to see you. Henry asked a question. I have a call with a former colleague tomorrow who is now a CEO of a bank in DC. I plan to ask her the questions you laid out here to try and get a tape from her. Any other tips since I'm a newbie? Just ask them if they got any non-performing notes they're looking to get rid of. That would be the simple thing. Way too much to go through in a less than a 12-hour period, Henry. But yeah, ask them if they've got any non-performing notes we can get rid of. She's probably not the right person to talk to because she's probably handling operations, but she can put you with the special asset manager or the secondary marketing manager or the chief credit risk officer. Depends how big the bank is or how small the bank is, what their title is. But asking if they have any non-performing notes they're looking to get rid of, residential, commercial. Hey, you're buying for your own portfolio. Let's just see what they have. Okay. Tony Miller asks, are you able to view these videos off of Facebook? I currently have some issues with Facebook. Yeah, Tony. Yes. The replays, the first 5 days. If you're just the 5-day, yes, we'll send a link out to it so you guys can watch it. Okay. Henry, she used to be the chief credit risk officer. Oh, well, why didn't you say so, my friend? Then yes, chief credit risk officer. Ask her, hey, if they've got more stuff in the DC area, not just DC, other parts around DC, Virginia, Maryland, other parts there, and see what they've got in their books. So there you go. That's awesome. Why didn't you say that so in the beginning there, Henry? All right. Good stuff. All right. And Henry, if you get a tape in and you're like, what the hell do I do? Give me a phone call. We'll dive into it. But anyway, guys, that's a bit great questions. Great questions. Give you an idea. That's kind of what we're covering the first 5 days. Now, if you're wondering what we're going to cover after the first 5 days, let me share that here in just a second. Okay, Alice, you got to go. You go to LinkedIn you don't go to LinkedIn for Octopus. Go to octopuscrm.io. Sign up at octopuscrm.io or use that link bit.ly/scoctopus, the link I put in the chat roll. Okay. All right. Moving on here, give you a bit of an idea. All right, Gracia, then follow the video. There's plenty of videos on there for you to use to how to start using it and stuff like that. Okay. Great. Here's the top 20 ways that we use to find deals. And I looked at all of these, and I've used all of these in the last 12 months. Obviously, LinkedIn searching, Lane Guide, state licensing, dialing for dollars, Scotsman Guide. We'll be covering those the first 5 days. But some of the really amazing stuff that works really well. I mean, don't get me wrong, those 5 all work really well on a budget, done that for years. But LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups and conferences and other note buyers, note platforms, Bauer Financial, you've heard me talk about, county records, servicing company, MBA conferences, foreclosure lists, condo associations, short sale listings, dialing for dollars, ladies and gentlemen, following up on bids, and using other wholesalers or brokers. We'll be covering all of these over the next 20 days. All right. Love for you to have a part. Love to have you be in this for the next 20 days as well for you. Okay. Any other questions about the content that we shared so far on the finding side? Okay. I can't walk you through working Octopus tonight. I will do a video on it and show you how to work it, but you've got to spend some time working around there. If you're not using LinkedIn already to connect with asset managers, before you go pay for something, jump on LinkedIn and start playing around with it. Okay, you got to have a LinkedIn profile first, really, before using Octopus. Okay, good stuff. All right. Any other questions before we move to day one's funding?